Now I want to know, have you ever walked past someone, whether it's in a street, in a park, or even here on like a beach, and wondered what their story is? What's really going on? I mean, not just the surface details like where they work or live, but the deeper truths, the struggles that they're carrying, maybe the battles that they're quietly fighting that no one else sees, that I don't see, because we don't know, do we? So as I walk here today, the beach feels so vast and open, yet the people around me are like tiny little islands, aren't they? Each with their own untold tales, their own unseen challenges. And I guess it's kind of a reminder of something incredibly important. We never really know what someone else is going through. So if you take a moment to think about the last person you interacted with, it could be a cashier at a grocery store, a colleague at work, or even a stranger you passed on the street, or maybe someone on a beach like this. Now, did they seem stressed? Maybe distracted? Did they smile at you? Or did they avoid your gaze completely, not even look at you? And what if I told you that behind that brief encounter could potentially be a story that you could never imagine? Perhaps that cashier just received bad news about, I don't know, a loved one. Maybe that colleague is battling self-doubt, wondering if they're good enough for their role. And that stranger, well, they could be dealing with grief, financial stress, or even just trying to get through one more day. I mean, the reality and the truth is that we are all carrying something, and many of us carry it alone. So let me share a story with you for a moment. And this was a story that a friend of mine once told me. It was about a time that she was having in her life, and everything felt absolutely terrible. She was having an awful day. She'd recently lost her job. She was worried she was going to lose her apartment in the city where she lived. Rent was overdue, and everything, just the whole world, felt like it was crashing down all at once. So she decided to go for a walk, hoping some fresh air would clear her mind. Well, we all do that, don't we? But instead, she explains it to me that she just felt invisible, like no one noticed her pain or even cared. But then a miracle for her happened. A stranger who was walking the dog stopped, smiled, and said to her, "You've got a kind face." And that is it. Just that one simple sentence, "You have a kind face." But to my friend, it was everything. It reminded her that in her dark moments, and I suppose in all of our dark moments, that we're not alone. Tiny acts of kindness like that, something so easy, so small, it completely turned her day around. I mean, it didn't solve her problems, but it gave her hope. And that is what she clung on to and was able to turn her life around because of that stranger. See, the thing about kindness is that it's like dropping a pebble into the water. It creates ripples that go far beyond what we can see. Now, that stranger with the dog probably doesn't even remember that encounter with my friend. But for my friend, it's something she's probably never going to forget. And here's the kicker, right? Because of that one moment, she's made it her mission to compliment at least one stranger every day. Imagine how many lives she's touched now just by paying forward that small act of compassion. It's remarkable, incredible. Why don't we all do this more often? Why don't we extend kindness as freely as we should? Maybe it's because we're all so caught up in our own lives, our own struggles, or maybe we're afraid of intruding, saying the wrong thing. But here's the truth. Kindness doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be genuine. Empathy is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. It starts with being present, really present, with the people around us, the people in our lives. It's about looking beyond the surface, listening without judgment, and remembering that every person we meet is fighting their own battle. So if you're wondering how you can incorporate more kindness into your life, so I've got a list of 5 things here, some simple ideas that could help you be a bit more kinder. Number 1, smile at a stranger. It's free and it can brighten someone's day. Offer a genuine compliment. You never know how much someone might need to hear it. It's okay in life, just going through life being criticised constantly, which is, we're good at that. We never pick people up, we never praise people and lift them. We're forever knocking people's confidence. Be patient, whether it's with a slow cashier or a hesitant driver. Patience is a form of kindness. Listen more. Sometimes all someone needs is to feel heard. And finally, for now, in my little list of 5, pay it forward. Buy a coffee for the person behind you in line, or leave a kind note for someone to find. Just any random act of kindness that can make all the difference in someone's world. As I continue walking along this beach here, watching the waves roll in and out, I'm reminded of how fleeting and interconnected our lives really are. Just like these waves, our actions ripple outward, touching the lives of others in ways that we may never fully understand. I mean, the next time you cross paths with someone, whether it's here on a beach, in a store, or on the street, remember that they could be carrying a burden that you can't see. And just maybe, your kindness could be the light they need in their moment of darkness. So let's choose to approach every interaction with empathy. Let's choose to be kind, not because we have to, but because we can. After all, the invisible struggles we don't see are often the ones that need our compassion the most. Thanks for walking with me today on this beach walk and talk. Let's keep spreading kindness, one small act at a time. I think there's something beautiful and raw in the ability of being able to just turn your camera on. Whatever camera you have, whether you're using a phone like I am right now, or whether you're a little bit more high tech than that and you actually have a blogging camera, a digital DSLR, whatever it is you use, one of the DJI Pocket 3s, these are all the rage, these vlogging cameras. But I'm just using my iPhone. So whatever you have, if you're able to go out in public, whether it's a beach like this, whether it's a busy city centre, as I've done in the past, if you look back on some of my earlier e-trips, especially in Newcastle, if you've got the ability, or you have, no, ability is not the right word, but if you have the wherewithal, the cojones, let's say the cojones, to turn your camera on, press record and just start talking, then I take my hat off to you, because not everybody can do this, believe me. Something that outwardly appears to be so intrinsically easy can be so terrifying for somebody who's never done it. Even in an environment like this, this beach I'm on right now is very desolate and isolated. There's hardly anybody around. In fact, I can't even see a single soul other than myself. But it's fairly easy. There's nobody around me here, so I can talk like this, not feel embarrassed, not feel like I'm being judged because nobody's is looking at me. But even though that is the case, it doesn't feel natural. Talking to a piece of technology like this, believe me, it's not the most natural thing in the world at all. If you can do that, if you can get yourself into a place where you're comfortable doing this, don't they always say that nothing happens where you're comfortable? You could stay in your comfort zone all your life and nothing magical can really happen. To truly live and to truly get out there and test what the human spirit is capable of, you've got to make yourself uncomfortable from time to time. You have to put yourself into these uncomfortable situations. And doing this, recording yourself like this, is uncomfortable. But who's to say that by doing this, magic won't happen? But you're not going to know unless you try. So by doing something like this, you open doors, you knock down barriers, you're giving yourself ample opportunity to change your life, to maybe do something about your current predicament, whatever that may be. If you're fed up with life, if you're fed up with your job, you're fed up with your 9 to 5, you're looking for that next something, that spark of creativity that's going to make you want to get up in the morning. And you can do this, and you can talk into a camera in 2024, almost 2025. Start your own YouTube channel, TikTok channel, whatever it is, whatever medium you use to put yourself on the internet, I would urge you to do it, because you don't know what may come from that. You could knock on a door that will open up a world of opportunity to you. You might not. You might start a channel. You might produce 100 videos and get nowhere, but you could be the one where this happens for. You might have a lot to say that the world wants to hear. So why not? Do it. Honestly, this could be the break you need in 2025. This could be the big thing. The big thing that you know that you need in your life that maybe you didn't realize you did.